What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews. I've got 5 bets that I've already put down, which I'm going to share with you today. I'm going to give you the reasons why I like it. Plus, we're going to talk about the best hit rates on the day. Now, if that sounds interesting, let's go. Sub to the channel because your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me. Before we jump into the picks, we've got to recap what I shared with you guys yesterday. I shared 4 bets, we went 2 and 2. The ones that cashed were easy, the ones that lost were frustrated. Now let's talk about it. Firstly, the winners. Jaylen Brown, I said over 3.5 assists, over 4.5 assists to take it. If Jason Tatum's not there, easy money. My man finishes on 6 assists. Then I said take Bam Adebayo over 15.5 rebounds and assists. That was easy money again. Over 20, I think. Smashed the boards, hit his assist line. So those two, pretty easy. But we had 2 losers on the day and pretty frustrating. Cade Cunningham, we took him over 22.5 points. I said I loved it. The matchup was great. The risk here was a blowout. I was hoping Jason Tatum wasn't going to be there. Jason Tatum wasn't there, and they got blown out anyway. So Cade Cunningham, I think he finishes on 18 points. Being honest with you guys, he took the volume. He took the shots, 22 shots, still finished with only 18 points. Shot poorly, didn't make a 3-pointer. Didn't hate that bet, but that was frustrating to lose. Then I said to take Malik Monk over 22.5 points and assists, and this was a bad bet. For 2 games in a row now, Malik Monk has broke our hearts, well, mine especially. He had like 9 assists today, but he shoots 2 from 11. He only scored like 5 points. It was pretty awful. And I say that's a bad bet for a couple of reasons. One, I always like the assists. I took the points thinking that he was going to find himself wide open. He did, but he missed a lot of shots, right? But that sucked because the assist would have been so easy. He killed that. This Pelicans team doesn't defend the pick and roll. They don't defend bigs very well, and that should have been an easy read. Done and dusted. But it's also a bad bet because Domantas Sabonis went off in that game, and I had a quick look at his, and I overlooked him. Like most people, not giving Domantas Sabonis the respect he deserves. I looked at his lines, I looked at his matchup, and I thought, man, he might go over. But for some reason, I was completely in love with Monk and his form and all the green bars. Yeah, bad bet. I overthought that one, and it sucked. So we go 2 and 2. Planning to be a lot better today, I can tell you that. I brought my secret weapon with me, and it's this. This is Victoria Bitter, one of Australia's finest beers, and I'm drinking this as I present this video to you all, hoping it gives me the juice that we need to go 5-0 on the 5 bets I'm about to share with you guys. So before we get to those 5 bets, I want to remind you guys of the giveaway for Rebet. Rebet's available in 46 out of 50 states. You get a $100 deposit match if you use the code DAFT when you sign up. I'm also doing a giveaway. Once we hit 100 referrals, I'll give away for $100 US to 5 different people. Hopefully, we can get that by Christmas. We're on about 65 right now, so it's coming up quick. Go ahead and check it out. And on top of that, I'll give you a month of my VIP picks for free if you sign up. Deposit $10, send me an email, and I'll make all that happen to you. The link and the instructions for that are in the video description below, so go ahead and check out Rebet. They've got a ton of games on there. It's not just sports betting either. They've just got blackjack and all these different casino games. It seems like it's pretty cool, so go ahead and check that out. Now let's get into these 5 bets, shall we? Let's go. So we've got a ton of games on today. Thank the Lord. Those 2 to 3 game slates. Not very fun if I'm being straight up with you guys, but we've got a lot more games to go through today. Unfortunately, we got a lot of game time decisions and stuff, so I was only able to get down 5, but for a lot of people, 5 is a lot. So I'll take you through the 5 today. We'll also go through all the hit rates, but we're jumping into Props Madness now. This is the best tool you're going to find for NBA player props. This tool was specifically made just for that. All the best cappers in the world are using this, and I encourage you guys to check it out. 7-day free trial in the video description below, and you'll get 25% off if you use the code DAFT when you sign up. Now, taking a look at the bets that I've got, I do have one in this Wizards versus the Cavaliers game. We're looking at Donovan Mitchell today. The spread in this game is huge, a 17-point spread. The Cavs should blow these guys out because they've done that twice already. Now, for Donovan Mitchell, I'm not taking his points prop because that blowout does scare me a little bit. But the line that I'm looking at here is his assists. We're looking at over 4.5 assists here for Donovan Mitchell. You can still get pretty good odds for this. And what are we talking about? He's hit this in 11 out of 24 games. That's not overly exciting. But over his last 7 games, your man's been diamond up. And over the last 7 games, he's hit this 6 times. Take a look at this. 6 out of 7 games, averaging 6 assists per game. What I do love about it is it includes a game against the Washington Wizards where he had 7 assists. He did all that in only 28 minutes. So that was another blowout win, 31-point win to the Cavs. And I think they probably smashed them once again. But Donovan Mitchell has proved in the 2 games against this Washington Wizards team but the blowout doesn't matter because he can make it happen. Here are these 2 games against Washington, 5 and 7 assists, both of them blowout wins. And he comes into this game with great form, hitting this in 6 out of his last 7. This Washington team doesn't play defense at all. They're pretty much bottom of the league in every defensive metric you can find. And I think Donovan Mitchell doesn't have to force anything. Just through the flow of the game, he can get these assists, whether it's hitting wide open shooters, Jared Allen dunking the ball, or whatever it may be. I think Donovan Mitchell at 4.5 assists is a little bit too low. At 5.5, I'd probably hesitate a little bit, but at 4.5, I'm willing to dance with that. So that's the first bet that I've got down is for Donovan Mitchell to go over his assist prop. I've got nothing in this Pacers versus 76ers game. Joel Embiid is back, and when he comes back from injuries, I don't know what's going to happen. My initial thoughts are to take his under, but let's not get adventurous with it. So I don't like betting on any of the Pacers players. We then have the Lakers versus the Timberwolves, and this game is where I found the first bet that I was going to take. As soon as I saw these guys were playing, I knew what I was going to bet on. And we're looking at Rudy Gobert over his points and rebounds. So we're looking at 22.5 points and rebounds for Rudy. Now, he's only hit this in 9 out of 23 games this season. So the hit rate on this is not fantastic. He does have a pretty good matchup against the Lakers, though. The Lakers, bottom 8 in the league in terms of defending putbacks. They're bottom 5 in defending the restricted area. They've got a bottom 5 defensive rating, and they're bottom 5 for points in the paint allowed. So this is an ideal matchup for Rudy Gobert. And in these matchups, he tends to eat. Take a look at what he's done against the Lakers in 2 games this season. 13 points, 14 rebounds in the first game. Follow that up with 17 points and 12 rebounds in the second game. He absolutely monstered them. Even if you go back into last season, 3 games against the Lakers, covering this line in all 3. 15 points, 13 rebounds, 13 points, 13 rebounds, 18 points, 16 rebounds. Rudy is a Los Angeles Lakers killer. The minute I spotted him, I jumped on it straight away. I think there's going to be a popular bet, in this game. But I do encourage you guys to check this one out because he's been eating alive. You could look at a double-double as well. The odds for that are pretty good. Rudy Gobert should get a lot of points, should get a lot of rebounds. That's just the way it goes. He keeps doing it 5 consecutive times. Looking for him to make it sick. Pumping the brakes real quick to ask you guys to like the video if you like what you've seen so far. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already because I'm dropping heat just like this every single day. And you can do me a favor, drop any comment you possibly can in the comment section for them noties. Get that algorithm working for me, not against me. Help YouTube push this out to more people. Hoping to grow the channel to 20,000 subscribers by Christmas, and I need your help to do it. So I appreciate everybody who does that. Let's get back to the rest of these bets. We're jumping into the Hornets versus the Bulls, and normally I'd be licking my lips when these teams play against each other, but there's no LaMelo Ball here. The Hornets play slow as hell these days, and this Bulls team doesn't have too much that gets me excited. But I do have a bet in this game, and we're looking at Vasilije Micic in this one. Being straight up with you guys, I loved his assist prop. This was at 6.5 when I was doing my research for it. You could still get a 6.5, but it's pretty juiced. But people have been eating against the Bulls, specifically point guards, been diamond up like crazy against the Bulls. The odds for 6.5 aren't fantastic. So I've made the pivot. I'm taking the over in his rebounds and assists over 10.5. This is still a plus money play. Plus money meaning you get more than your money back if you win this bet. Now, Micic, he's been getting stellar time with LaMelo Ball out, with Trey Mann out, who will both happen to be out for this game. He's hit this line in 4 out of the 6 games with them out, averaging 10.5 rebounds and assists. Now, he comes up against the Chicago Bulls, and this is the best matchup he's going to find. 2nd most assists, 3rd most rebounds, 4th lowest defensive rating. They allow the most points in the paint. They actually allow a ton of 3-pointers as well. They play at the fastest pace. This is a match made in heaven for someone like Micic to get a lot of dimes. Playing with a whole lot of pace, can record a whole lot of stats. The matchup's fantastic. He's been getting a ton of minutes with these guys out of the lineup. He managed to cover this number against Atlanta, who are probably equally just as bad as the Chicago Bulls are on the defensive end. Finished with 13, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists in that one. He had 18 potential assists, though, which is crazy. He could have gotten 15 to 20. Up against the Bulls, I think he can make it happen. Miles Bridges may make his return today. That gives him another scoring threat, so he doesn't have to just rely on Brandon Miller and Josh Green to get these dimes. But I do like this look. This Bulls team, pretty soft defensively. Charlotte can make it happen. Micic, let's get it, my boy. Now, if you can't get the rebounds and assists, the 7.5 assists is a plus money play, I believe, as well. I don't hate that play either. I think he could definitely do that. rebounds and assists. The reason why I'm taking that is one, the odds are better, but also there has been a few games where he hasn't necessarily dimed up, like this game against Atlanta, only 5 assists, but he did have 8 rebounds. So I think the rebounds could potentially save you in this type of game against the Bulls. Up and down, a lot of long rebounds from all these 3-point attempts. So Michik, that is my third play. The next one I want to share with you all. I've actually got 2 of them in the Clippers and the Nuggets game. Let's talk about it. I got 1 Clipper and 1 Nugget. The Nugget we're talking about here is MPJ, Michael Porter Jr. Looking at his rebound prop, over 6.5 rebounds, and you can still get this at plus money. So I do like that. Now, MPJ's hit this in 14 out of 22 games this season, averaging 7.1 rebounds. He's actually finished on 7 rebounds a lot. But to get more reliable data, looking at games that he's played with Aaron Gordon probably the only threat to, I guess, reduce his rebounds, you could say. He's also most likely to play. Now, in 11 games with Aaron Gordon in the lineup, Michael Porter Jr. has covered this line in 8 out of 11 games, averaging 7.2 rebounds. He's also played the Clippers with Aaron Gordon twice this season, finishing with 9 and 7 boards. I've looked into the film. I've tried to have a look to see how and what is happening here. Michael Porter Jr. spends a lot of his time defending the corners, whether that was Derek Jones Jr., who's not playing today, or Amir Coffey, who is playing today. These guys sit in the corner, they wait for James Harden to pass them the ball, then they shoot it. For the most part, Michael Porter Jr. is going to see a lot of uncontested rebounds, a lot of defensive rebounds. And what was interesting when I was looking at all these rebounds from previous games is like this guy is really chasing rebounds hard. It's like in a way that I feel like he's doing it for the stats. Like Michael Porter Jr. is like saving a lot of balls that are going out of bounds just to get the rebound, which is pretty wild. So I like that in a player. He's chasing stats, and I need him to get them over 7 plus, over 6.5 rebounds plus money. I think it's a really good look. You can catch 5.5s out there, but the odds aren't fantastic. But you might want to take a 5.5 and dejuice it somehow. So I leave it up to you and how you play it. But I do like Michael Porter Jr. to get some boards today. And my last play is on James Harden, looking at his over in his rebounds and assists. So the line here is 13.5. He's hit the over in this in 14 out of 24 games. So a little bit up and down. And you're probably thinking, why the hell are you betting on this guy, right? But take a look at this. One simple filter might change your mind on whether you should take this bet or not. And it all comes down to his minutes. So when James Harden plays more than 35 minutes, look at this hit rate. Boom. 9 out of 10 games this season, averaging 18.9 rebounds and assists. Now, the reason why I played with a minutes filter in this one is because Ty Lue doesn't like playing his starters in the fourth quarter unless he has to. There's been so many Clippers games where James Harden, Powell, Zubac, they don't play in the fourth quarter at all. And that's because they're involved in a lot of blowouts, whether they're winning them or losing them. They don't need to be out there in the fourth. He's not going to play them. And it makes sense. They've got a lot of injuries. Their starters are going to get a whole lot of minutes this season. It makes sense. But now he's up against the Denver Nuggets. This game should be close. The spread is 6.5. But one thing I like about this game is there's a chance that Jamal Murray, he could be out for this game, which brings it a little bit closer. More Westbrook time. Probably going to help the Clippers. And it's going to help us too. The Clippers have also beat the Nuggets twice this season. Both of those games were close. James Harden logged 22 and 20 rebounds and assists. The Clippers won that. Both of those games, they were very close. Now this game's taken back to Denver. I think Denver win this game, but I think the Clippers can keep it close enough for James Harden to play at least 35 minutes in this one. So I do like the look of this line. He's been hitting it extremely well. Should get a lot of assists here. This Denver team's going to do everything they can to get the ball out of James Harden's hands, and that's going to result in a lot of assists. And when he gets the minutes, he's going to get these boards anyway. I can't see James Harden defending many high usage players. He's a very good rebounder for his size, and the hit rate on this is fantastic. So obvious risk in this play is a blowout. Either way, the Clippers being blown out or getting blown out. If there's blowing going to occur in this game, then my back's going to be blown out because James Harden's not going to play the minutes. Therefore, he probably doesn't cover this line. But providing this game stays close, I like our chances here for James Harden to go over this 13.5 rebounds and assists. Now, just because the bets are out of the way, it doesn't mean you need to go anywhere. I'm going to do more for you, provide you with some more value, see if we can maybe find some different angles on some bets that you may be thinking of, or some bets you may not have thought of at all. So I'm going to keep drinking this beer, and I'm going to take you to the best hit rates on the day. Who's got 100% hit rate over their last 5 games, and can we continue to see that? Do you still take that bet? That's what I take you through next. Now, let's go. All right, looking at the Wizards versus the Cavs, we've got Bilal Coulibaly here, and we're looking at over 2.5 assists, which is pretty crazy. Look at that. My man's been killing it as of late. In his last 5 games, he's averaging 4.2 assists. You only need 3 assists to cash this bet. One of these games was against the Cleveland Cavaliers in a blowout loss, where he finished with 4 assists and 6 potentials. His potential assist numbers aren't too bad. 4, 6, 6, 7, 7. It ain't too bad a look. Now, this is pretty juiced, though, this 2.5. I do like the over here. I definitely lean that way. At these odds, I'm not too excited about playing it, but Bilal Coulibaly to go over his assist line, I don't hate that. And I think why it can go over is because of the players that they're missing. No Kuzma, no Brogdon, no Kispert. He's only played 2 games without them, 5 and 4 assists. He had 7 potential assists in both of those games. You could easily lock him into 3 or 4 assists. What if we look at the games with just no Brogdon or Kuzma? Over in 4 out of 7. I still lean to the over. I got to tell you. So Bilal Coulibaly, I don't mind that. The odds for it are not great though. Another one, you could look at Jared Allen here. Under in his points prop. Now, as of late, he's been trash. These last 6 games, going under 13.5 points every single time. One of those games was against Washington. I remember this game. This was a game where I bet on him to go over, and he only took 6 shots in that game. He's just not seeing the volume. Evan Mobley starting to emerge. Garland getting some shots up. So was Donovan Mitchell. I'm just not game enough to bet an under here because this matchup with Washington is perfect for Jared Allen. He just needs to get the ball and he's going to score some points. You're basically betting on whether he gets the ball or not, and I don't think that's a very smart play. Outside of that, in this game, there's no other players with a 100% hit rate over the last 5, but maybe we can find something in the next one. It's the Pacers versus the 76ers. And if you're looking for an under with a great hit rate, you got to look at Tyrese Halliburton. Looking at his assists, lines at 8.5. He's gone under this in 6 consecutive games. Detroit, Memphis, Toronto, Nets, Bulls, Hornets. And now he's up against the 76ers with Joel Embiid. They allow the 12th fewest assists in the league. In his last matchup with Philly, he only finished with 2 assists and only 6 potential assists after playing 37 minutes. So this is an under I could probably get behind. In that game, they weren't missing too many players either. As of late, he's been playing the minutes. What's he been doing? Shooting the ball a lot? Well, yeah, he's had some pretty big games, which means his volume's been okay. But yeah, hasn't been racking up the assists the way that you'd think. Matchup, let's just have a look at assists allowed. Opponent assists allowed to see what his matchups have been like. So the Charlotte Hornets one, that matchup's not too difficult, but he went under. This Bulls matchup was ideal for him, and he went under. This Nets matchup's pretty good too, and he still went under. The Raptors a little bit harder, and he goes under. The Grizzlies matchup was difficult. The Pistons matchup is difficult, and he went under in all of those as well. Really interesting because Nembhard didn't play in a lot of these games, and normally his assist numbers are sky high. Now, here's an interesting one. If you look at similar types of players and how they played against Philly, Fred VanVleet, James Harden, Cade Cunningham, and Halliburton himself, they've all gone under their assist line against this team. So I think a Tyrese Halliburton under looks like a good look. You can get minus 125 for this on Bet365. I don't mind that. His recent form tells us why he shouldn't. Because his potential assist numbers aren't high. I feel like his needs to be about, 16 to 20 potential assists in order to cash this line. Hasn't been doing that as of late. What I'd be interested to know is what's changed, what's happened. And I can't necessarily see it in terms of people and lineup changes, but I think that's an interesting look. Tyrese Halliburton, under 8.5 assists. I might be able to get with that. Now, the next one, I'm not surprised to see this one. It's Obi Toppin. Looking at an over in his points prop, lines at 9.5. He's gone over this in 5 consecutive games. And the biggest difference maker in this last 5 is he started to see minutes. Played well. Now he scores in transition and in the restricted area. Up against Philly, he did score 15 points last time they played as well. 23 minutes. That's what he's been playing as of late. Now, if you look at his filters, let's just say look at the games where he's played more than 20 minutes. He's over this line in 9 out of 12 games. This matchup to score points isn't so bad for Obi Toppin. I honestly don't mind this. Over 9.5 points. Now, there was no Joel Embiid last time they played, but I don't know if that impacts him too much. Similar types of players have gone over 3 out of the last 4 games against Philly. Obi Toppin, over his points. I think that's really interesting. I'll put that down as a lead, something I might look into, see if we can find some value in that. And lastly, we're looking at TJ McConnell. So TJ McConnell's gone over his points line of 12.5 in 5 consecutive games. So really for this Pacers team, it's the bench that's been producing for them as of late.
TJ McConnell only scored 10 points last time he played Philly. 21 minutes. Has been playing a lot more than 21 minutes, though. His matchup to score some points in this game is a little bit difficult, so I'd be a bit hesitant here, and the matchup's not a great one for TJ McConnell. So the hit rate has been good, but I wouldn't put money on it to continue. So yeah, the two leans that I take out of this game, we've got Halliburton under his assists and Obi Toppin over his points. Now, I have bet on Obi Toppin as a late because I noticed that trend in his minutes. Up against Philly today, I honestly don't hate it. So that's something I'm probably going to look into a bit more, look into both of those guys. Then we've got the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Looking at the last 5 games, we've got Julius Randle we can take a look at, and we're looking at it under in his PRA. He's gone under this in 5 straight games. Has been getting very close to it, though. Did play the Lakers not too long ago. Only finished with 26 PRA, but that was largely due to a blowout, 29-point win. And they could blow them out again. It's an 8.5-point spread. No LeBron James in this one. I'm not too keen on betting the under on Julius Randle, though. Got to be honest with you guys. Another under that's been cashing is for Anthony Davis. Looking at his rebounds prop, he's gone under this 11.5 rebound prop in 5 consecutive games. He did finish on 11 rebounds 3 times, though, and one of those games was against Minnesota. So I think that line is just about right. It'll be real sweaty if you take that under. The next one is for D'Angelo Russell. Actually, he doesn't have a 100% hit rate. That's a lie. D'Angelo Russell killed it that last game with no Bron. But outside of that, there's nothing major happening there. And then we got the Hornets versus the Bulls. And the only consistent player hitting in the last 5 games is Brandon Miller. And we're looking at his over in his points prop. And we're only looking at it if you can catch this 25.5. Actually, not even 100%. That's a lie. That is a lie. So he's hit over 24.5 in 5 straight. But yeah, Brandon Miller's got a pretty good matchup here against the Chicago Bulls anyway. I'm just curious to see how he plays if Bridges plays. Brandon Miller's had the green light to shoot the ball as much as he wants, and with Bridges there's another mouth to feed. And he's got a great matchup against the Bulls. Should be able to get a lot of shots up and score a lot of points. I do lean to the over there for Brandon Miller. Next, we'll look at the Brooklyn Nets versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, there's nobody who has hit their line in 5 consecutive games who's playing in this one. I think Ja Morant, his points and assists probably becomes a popular play today. And the reason why is he's played well against the Nets this season, had 34 points and assists the last time they played, and then 25 points and assists the game prior to that, but that was a blowout, and he shot the ball terribly. The problem here is this Memphis Grizzlies team, 11.5-point favorites. If there's a blowout, Ja Morant's not going to get time. Ja Morant, as young and athletic as he is, doesn't play a high volume of minutes, and if the game's all wrapped up, he's not going to play too many. So that's my risk there on betting on Ja Morant. Not saying that you shouldn't do it, but that's why I'm not doing it. Then we've got the Clippers versus the Nuggets. Let's see what we can find here. And the only player with 100% hit rate is on Jamal Murray, who's also on the injured list, game time decision. But you'd be looking at it under in his 3-pointers made prop. He's played 8 games this season. He's only gone over that in 1 game. That just happened to be against the Clippers. But under in 6-7 straight games. And his volume's not very high. 3-pointers, 3 3-pointers, 4, 3, 7, 2, 6, and 5. So, yeah, the volume's not there for Jamal Murray. And I guess it's hard for him to make threes when Nikola Jokic is scoring like crazy. MPJ's been getting buckets. Christian Braun's been helping out. Aaron Gordon's had some decent games. Westbrook off the bench. Strawther, Peyton Watson. Like, this Denver Nuggets team has a lot of people to score some buckets here. Jamal Murray, not seeing the volume. Now, his matchup today is somewhat difficult, I would say, against the Clippers, but that's the only game where he's gone over. But he did take 14 shots, 6 3-pointers in that one in order to cash 3. I think this is a good look, taking his under, but the odds for the under are not fantastic. Minus 135, the best ones that I can see right now. So I definitely lean that way. I'm not sure if I'm going to bet that, though. Then we have the Suns versus the Jazz. And one over that we're looking at here is Walker Kessler. And I did take a look at this over. I did strongly consider it. If you want to look at his PRA, he's covered his PRA in 6 consecutive games. His line's at 22.5. He's gone over in 6 consecutive games, which is crazy. Up against the Phoenix Suns today, the matchup's not overly difficult for him, provided he sees the minutes. I think he can go over. Actually, now I think I'm going to take this bet the more I think about it, because I was only looking at his points before. But now if we combine the fact that he's been diamond up a little bit, he's been getting rebounds as well at a great rate, points, rebounds, and assists, 22.5, 6 consecutive games. What's he doing in the last 6 games? 28.7 points, rebounds, and assists. You only need 23 points, rebounds, and assists in order to cash this bet. Rudy Gobert's had some success against Phoenix. So is Daniel Gafford. Yusuf Nurkic is back in the lineup. So that probably makes it a little bit more difficult. But at the same time, Walker Kessler has had some difficult matchups. Had 33 PRA against Jokic, 29 against Dallas, 26 on the Lakers, 28 on OKC and Hartenstein, 32 on Portland, and they got some big boys, 24 against the Sacramento Kings. And that's the difficult matchup for big men to score some points down low. So, yeah, up against Phoenix, I don't mind Walker Kessler. I'll probably take a look at his over and his PRA there, 22.5. Definitely something I'm going to be thinking about. Now, somebody else in this game, though, with a great hit rate, we're looking at Tyus Jones. Look at his points prop. 11.5. He's hit this in 5 straight games. 19, 16, 13, 13, and 21. Now, Kevin Durant, Yusuf Nurkic was missing through most of these games, though. Kevin Durant is likely to come back today. So that's my only concern here if I was betting the over for Tyus Jones. With Kevin Durant in the lineup, he's over this line in 5 out of 13 games. Now, the only reason I'd probably still take it is the matchup isn't too bad. This Jazz team's not great at defending the perimeter, but the data is not as strong as you probably thought it was. But another player we can look at here is Keontae George. His rebound line of 2.5. He's hit this in 5 straight games. The lowest rebound number he's had in the last 5 has been 4 boards, which is pretty crazy. And what's changed? No Jordan Clarkson is probably the main thing. Jordan Clarkson's a game time decision on this one. So if we take a look at the filters, let's look at how he's played without Jordan Clarkson. And yeah, that's probably the recent change. 3.4 rebounds per game, 6 out of his last 10. So I'd probably wait to see if Jordan Clarkson's confirmed to play or not. And all that necessarily means is Keontae George is going to get more minutes. That's the main thing. So if we go ahead and bet his rebounds, wait to see what the news is on Jordan Clarkson. But heading into the last game to see if there's anything else we might want to bet on. We've got the Spurs versus the Trailblazers. And it looks like some unders might be on the cards here. But I know there's a couple of injuries we need to factor in. Jeremy Sohan, where are you? Here he is. So for Jeremy Sohan, we could look at a combination of his points plus assists. He's gone under this in 5 consecutive games now since he's come back from injury, really. The problem here is that they've got a lot of outs. Keldon Johnson, Stephon Castle, Zach Collins, Trey Jones, they're all out. So I don't want to bet any unders on the Spurs, not knowing who's going to get the minutes. So probably encourage you guys to stay away from betting unders on Spurs until that's clear. But outside of that, there's nobody with an amazing hit rate because these teams suck. Their players are going to go up and down all the time. But I think that was a worthy deep dive going through those. I think Walker Kessler, I think that's probably a good look. I want to dive into that a bit more. Plus the Halliburton and what's his name? Halliburton and Obi Toppin. I'll take a look to see what's happening there because they've been cashing quite nicely as of late. I'm going to bounce to get this edited for you, get it all out to you, get some more value plays rolling for VIP, probably have another beer or two, and hope my slips green out tomorrow. So I wish you guys the best of luck. A couple of reminders, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, trying to get to 20,000 by the end of this year, hopefully by Christmas. Also, download, sign up to Rebet, deposit $10, send me an email, get in the draw for $100 US, plus you get a month of VIP picks for free. Can't wait to do that giveaway. I honestly cannot wait, but feel free to check it out. All that stuff's in the video description below. Best of luck to us, ladies and gents. Peace.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.